On this special edition of Locked On Kings, Devlin Carter, the Sacramento Kings diehard fan and season ticket holder, who was kicked out of Wednesday night's Kings loss to the Suns at the Golden One Center for voicing the frustrations of the entire Kings fan base. He joins me on the show to talk about his incident with Zach LaVine, the fallout from that incident, plus his perspective on everything that's been going on with the Kings from right behind their bench. It's all right here on Locked On Kings.
You are Locked On Kings, your daily Sacramento Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for another episode of Locked On Kings.
Hello and welcome into Locked On Kings, your podcast hub for Sacramento Kings coverage all season long. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. My name is Matt George. I have the privilege of being your host here. I'm a Sacramento sports anchor and reporter for ABC 10 News, and first and foremost, hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you are either enjoying those leftovers today or nursing that post-Thanksgiving little nap or long food coma that you went through. Hope you had a wonderful day with friends and family, and you enjoyed the holiday time. And hopefully you're enjoying today's Black Friday. Hey, I'm going to let you know, and the Kings are not telling me to say this, just letting you know in case you are not aware. The Kings are having a pretty significant Black Friday sale right now on Kings tickets. So if you haven't been able to go to a game, if games are too expensive for you, hey, maybe check it out and see if tickets are at a more reasonable price for you to come on out and bring your family out or just yourself out to experience Kings basketball in person inside of the Golden One Center. But hopefully you have a better time than my guest on today's show, Devlin Carter. His story, which you're going to hear his story of how he became an incredible entrepreneur success story. It's pretty incredible, and you'll tell from this conversation that I had with him just what got him to fall in love with Sacramento Kings basketball, got him to fall in love with the Golden One Center. It's the Kings fan base, right? And the way he talks about the fans and the way he kind of stood up for the fans in a lot of ways and spoke up and voiced his frustrations about the defense, to which obviously Zach LaVine took issue to. Devlin will explain the entire situation, his perspective on everything, what happened, what went down, and then provide some really, really cool perspective on just what he's seen, what he's heard from the players and everything over the course of this season from his seat right behind the Kings bench. Devlin is an incredibly nice guy. So I don't know what else to say. I just hope you enjoy my conversation with Devlin, hearing his story, what went down, and his perspective on everything right here on Locked On Kings. I'm joined now by Devlin Carter. Yes, you heard that right. Devlin Carter, not Devin Carter, who plays point guard for the Sacramento Kings. Devlin Carter, who's as dedicated of a Kings fan as it comes, spends his hard-earned money consistently, sits as a season ticket holder, very close to courtside behind the Sacramento Kings bench, and he was already a consistent presence. You saw him, or at least we've seen him every single game behind the bench, but people who didn't know who he was found out who he was on Wednesday night when an altercation took place between him and Zach LaVine and members of the Sacramento Kings bench. Devlin, nice enough to join me here the day after Thanksgiving on Locked On Kings to talk about what went down and also just his perspective on everything happening with the Sacramento Kings from his spot behind the bench. Devlin, it's a pleasure, my man. Welcome in. If you do not mind, I know you've talked about it a lot. You shared it on your IG. Run us through just what went down in that fourth quarter against Phoenix.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on. So basically, we're watching the game. We see how it started, 41-16 the first quarter, right after we had that great game. I thought the team was making a turn. And then you see how the game started, but we slowly was fighting back. And I think we got it down to like 7. And, the fans were all like, yeah, we might be able to do what we did against, Minnesota, because we had 7 minutes left. We came back from 10 points down with like 2 minutes left. So we're just like, yeah, keep fighting. This is what we want to see. And then once again, Zach LaVine goes and doesn't play defense. He like halfway goes and he like puts his arm down. And I think it was Gillespie hits another three. And Doug Christie calls a timeout. The fans are already livid in the arena because the fans have been here. Like, we see it, and we could see the effort because we've had teams, even when we weren't good, we could see effort. Everybody sees effort. Everybody sees you're actually really trying. And then we see when you're not trying. So basically, me and another fan who sits right next to me courtside, we're talking. I'm like, yo, we don't come here to watch y'all not play defense. And Zach LaVine goes, looks at me, and then he says, then go home. Take your ass home. You know, he said another, I'm not going to say the word he said because we're on, you know, on here and be respectable on this platform. But so he said what he said, and I got upset. One, because Zach LaVine doesn't interact with fans at all. He acts like he doesn't see us. I've seen kids try to get a high five from him, and he just walks past them like he don't see nobody. So the first time you even interact with a fan, it's me who sits right here by the bench. I'm a courtside season ticket holder. I raise my voice the whole game. I go home every game hoarse from cheering. Whether we winning or losing, I be cheering. When we get blown out, I stay and wait till all the players leave before I leave. Right? So you say that to me when you never interacted with the fans. But because we tell you, and I was saying it in general, I'm like, because he's not the only one who wasn't playing defense. We have this uncanny knack of leaving people wide open for a corner three. Like, we do it all the time. Like, and this hasn't been this year. So it was just our frustrations as fans. So when I'm like, you know, I guess he could hear all of our conversation and he had enough. He knew he was playing bad, I guess. The frustrations, I don't know. But just to be like, that's your interaction with me. So I told him, I said, hey, it's funny you have that fight for me, but you don't have that fight on the court. And I told him, you need to go home because you're not playing. You left your game at home. Come, you know. And as I was getting escorted out, I told Scott Perry, I said, hey, Scott, you was right about him. You was right. You was right about him. And that's when they, you know, it made me go through the tunnel. And the security, they were cool about it because they know me. They know I'm always there. They know I'm not disrespectful to our team. And they weren't kicking me out. Max was just trying to get me out of there so I wouldn't do something worse because, like, before you guys even seen it, when he said it, Russell Westbrook was in between us. And I was like, what? You go home, and I stepped forward towards him, and Russell Westbrook pushed me back like, don't do that. Like, and then that's when Max's security like grabbed me and they kept trying to push me back. And I didn't want to be pushed back. I wanted Zach to understand exactly what I was saying because I was like, yo, you're not playing defense. You're not even trying. Maybe he don't want to be in Sacramento. Maybe he got traded there. Maybe that's why he looks dejected on the court. But it's been like 3 games in a row where he's got like 12 points, 13 points, but we're paying you $46 million, you know, and you're not playing like that type of player. Mind you, you got traded for Fox. Fox was Mr. Fourth Quarter. Now we got somebody who won't show up in the fourth quarter. And Fox interacted with the fans. He was accepted by Sacramento. I don't even think you've made it your presence felt here in Sacramento to be going at fans the way you are.
So a couple points of clarification. Number one, we'll see Devlin Carter in his normal seats going forward, right? There's no worry about that.
Yeah, no. As far as my understanding, none of my ticket reps hit me. My ticket rep hit me and was like, I got your back. Even the security was like, they wrote a report and it was on my side because it was uncalled for him to say that. He didn't have to say that. Like, I didn't curse at him. I didn't say, you know, this or that. Like, you know, we're sitting sideline. Yeah. You might, you know, be like, damn, not effing again. Like, you might say that on the sideline, but that's just normal. I wasn't like, hey, you are an effing this or effing that, you know? So as far as I know, to my knowledge, I'll be there on Sunday unless they tell me something different, you know, but as I know right now, yes, I'm allowed to go to the games.
And for fans who don't know, if you go down to the court within the first like 5 to 10 rows, there are little cards that have the fan code of conduct to tell you what you can and can't do, obviously. And Devlin doesn't sound like he crossed that line at all. Now, the other point of clarification I wanted to touch base with you on is, did Zach or anybody on the Kings bench that you know of like call for security to ask you to get kicked out? So it was just a spur of the moment thing.
No, Zach didn't say get him out of here. Zach didn't do that. I see people saying that Zach did that. He did not do that. We just had some words. Basically, he said, "Go home, take your ass home." Yeah. And I was like, "No, you go home. You're not playing defense or whatever." But mind you, the Kings. I sit row 2, so row 1 and row 2 is courtside, right? And row 3 is also considered courtside. I sit row 2, but I'm the first seat after the coach, and so the last person that sits in row 2 on the coaching staff is the head of security. So Max, he escorted me out. We talked all the time. The game before the game, all the coaches give me a handshake and everything like that. So it was just like, this is one of our guys. Like, come on, Dev, just go this way. Don't worry about it. Just leave. So nothing gets escalated. Let's just go. So that's basically what they were doing. And Zach was still chomping as I was walking out. So I was just chomping back to him because at that point I was like, man, if they're kicking me out for good, and I lose my seats, I'm going to say everything that these fans have been feeling. Yeah. Like Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. And I left there with him having a piece of my mind, like, yo, play hard. That's honestly, like I said on my Instagram post, I'm a New Yorker. I'm a native New Yorker. I didn't move to California until I was 25. I got out of the Coast Guard when I was 35. After that, I started my business, became successful. A lot of these people don't know that, but I'm really cool with Steph Curry. Every time Steph Curry wins a championship, the parade shorts that he wears, I make those. So I've made those for Steph. I used to teach kids how to sew in Oakland, and we got to partner with Under Armour, and my kids got to make the Steph Curry 6. Wow. So I could be going I live closer to San Francisco. I could be going to the Warriors games, but I happened to stumble upon coming to a Kings game, and just the fans and the staff at the Kings Arena is amazing. They have a really great staff, but they treat their courtside season ticket holders very well. Every year we go on a trip with the Kings staff to a road game. The Kings pay for it. But it was the fans in the arena. Like I used to go to the Oracle Arena. It was loud. They called it Roracle. This arena in Sacramento rivals that. Like, I don't know if there's another arena as loud. So I'm more even a fan of the fans here than even the team at times, because it doesn't matter what the team does on the court. These fans cheer so loud. Like, for example, I went to the last game on Sunday against the Warriors. Me and my wife sat courtside at the Cup game, and the arena was so dead. And my wife was just like, yeah, I like our arena better. I'm like, I do. It's no life in here. It's no life in here. When we go, whether we win or lose, I'm going to have a good time at the Kings Arena. You know what I'm saying? And the Kings have the best fans. So I became a fan of the fans and a fan of the organization. But really, that arena, the fan base, because it's rare that the NBA has a fan base that's still this raucous, still this dialed in with their team and really care. And Sacramento really does care. They fans deserve better. And that's all I was trying to say. Like, the Kings fans deserve better. They come here, they cheer for you. The game before the first time I've seen them actually boo their own team. So it's saying it's a lot going on, and everybody's frustrated. It ain't just me. It ain't just the players. The whole fan base is frustrated because the players are not putting the effort that the fans deserve, that they cheer for.
Like I said at the top of the show, this episode of Locked On Kings is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every single game exciting, especially when your team is the team making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Well, the fans are a fan of you too. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the podcast here, because this is going to sound like a horrible connection, Devlin. Do you remember when it was the Luke Walton years and there was a Kings fan that sat courtside near the visitor bench and he threw up, he vomited all over the floor? You remember? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I remember that moment a little bit.
So that was like, people called that like the moment of the season, kind of the rock bottom of the season. And I'm not comparing you to that in that sense, because you didn't do anything like that. But this is a moment where fans are resonating with, because you're saying and you're speaking what they're saying and they're feeling, and they just can't communicate it as well from wherever they're sitting in the arena or yelling at their TVs at home. And so you have you've worked your butt off, and we're going to talk about the work that you do too in just a little bit, because it's pretty awesome. You've worked to put yourself in a position to be able to afford these seats and sit where you do. So you get to see, we get in the media, we get to interact with these players after the game. And Zach was very frustrated. We get to hear what Coach Christie says after the game when he has 20 minutes or so to collect his thoughts. But in the moment, you get to see that bench. You get to see that reaction in the moment. This season going the way it has, the times where it's been blatantly obvious that whether you want to say the Kings have quit or they're just not playing hard or whatever the case may be, like, what has stood out to you from your perspective that you feel, I guess, the fans are justified in calling out when it comes to this team?
Yeah, I think it's just a disconnect with this roster, to be honest. Like, the roster it doesn't seem to be gelling the way it should. It feels like we're playing 4 guards with Sabonis. We used to run the offense through Sabonis. Now it's like he's a pick and roll guy who's like, and it's just like he's not being, because I look at Sabonis like a point center, almost like a Jokic. And I felt like when we had that really great offense running with Fox and Sabonis, like it was running through, Sabonis, he would carry the team, and then come fourth quarter, Fox would bring it home. Now it doesn't seem like they figured out what is going to be the working mechanism of their offense for them. We've pushed Russ into the starting point guard role over Schrader, and Russ has been great for us. Like, at least he has, I don't care what anybody says about Russ. He hustles. He has been hustling. And I think the Kings fans are enjoying that. Yes, we make mistakes here and there, but we rather you hustle than quit on plays. So, and that's all a fan could want. But as far as it's just like the offense, they just got together. Where were they, like 20 games in? So I don't think that they have found their niche or who is the primary ball handler, who's the second tier scorer. Because now we got Keegan, and Keegan came back, and Keegan's looking really great. He's doing stuff like you can see he advanced his game. Like, he's driving to the hole more. He's not settling for the corner 3. So I just think maybe that they just need more time, but the growing pains of the new roster trying to get together. One thing that I've noticed, definitely that I will speak on, is Precious Achiuwa. At first, he didn't talk at all. He would come to the bench and sit down and be quiet. These last 2 games, he's coming in, he's talking in the huddles. He's like, look, guys, we got to do this. You got to rotate. You're leaving these guys open. So, Precious went from being quiet, didn't know what he sounds like, to now I'm hearing him be vocal. Russ is talking as well. DeMar, but I've seen the frustrations. I've seen DeMar. I was looking down at my phone. I looked up and I thought DeMar was kicking me, because he came in, he kicked the chair because he was upset with what was going on the court. And then him and Dennis Schrader started talking, and he said that he said the coaches are not utilizing us properly. That's what DeRozan said in that game. He's like, they're not utilizing us. They're not utilizing us properly. So I think maybe some of the players are just frustrated that, like, and the coaches could be too. They got a new roster. They just added Precious after the season started. So hopefully they get it together, because the fans we just want to see competitive basketball, whether it's win, lose. As long as we know you're trying hard and you really put your all out there, they're going to cheer for you. But if they see you dropping back on threes, leaving guys wide open, they're going to boo you, because it's their right. It's their right. Remember, we the fans are why you get paid what you get paid, regardless of how you feel about us, right? And we're fans, so we're there to support you. We're not there to break you down. When we're saying, hey, play defense, is because you're not doing it. And we want to see you play defense, because if you play defense, that helps us win. It's nothing like not attacking Zach as a player. I think Zach is a phenomenal athlete. And I think I expect more from him, not just because of his salary, but because I've seen sparks of him hit 7, 8 3-pointers in the game, score 40, 50 points. He did it last season for us. This year, he might be in a slump, And I don't have no ill will towards Zach at all. He was frustrated. People get frustrated at work. To me, it's water under the bridge. I'm still going to cheer for the Kings and for him. I'm not. It's just, it happens. People, you could have an argument with your best friend tomorrow. Y'all still going to be friends the next day.
Sure.
Like, I still respect him as a player.
What have you noticed from Doug Christie about the fans, like Doug Christie's one of Sacramento's own in a lot of ways, and we know he wears his heart on his sleeve. And he had a post-game press conference after a Kings home loss earlier this season where he straight up called his veterans out. He didn't call anybody by name, but we knew who he was talking to.
Yeah.
And he was clearly unhappy with the amount of effort, especially on the defensive side of the floor. What are you seeing from Coach Christie in terms of how hard he's trying to coach this group?
Exactly. Like, I saw that press conference too, and everything he said in that press conference is really what I was saying as I was being ushered out. But with a lot of anger, man, a lot of frustration. Like, when they're calling timeouts, man, some words that won't make the FCC airways, he's letting them have it. Like, you can tell, like, that he's also frustrated most of the time when he's calling a timeout is because we done left a few people back to back possessions open for a three, or just not committed on the defensive end. So when he's calling that timeout to let them have it, like, and try to, get them to understand what's going on. So I do see a lot of frustrations going on from Coach Christie. He's upset because he's a Sacramento legend, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he lived in Sacramento even before he was the head coach and like on the staff. I think he's pretty much, this is where he's made his home. So I think he's a native here now, so you can definitely see the frustrations on when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But then you also see him in the timeouts trying to coach him up when he's calling a timeout. So yeah, man, it's a lot of frustration. It's been a frustrating season, and man, I have no idea what's gonna happen next. I see, I follow all the Kings pages. I see they're saying they're gonna blow this thing up and rebuild, but man, that's just gonna be another tough pill for us, because like I feel like we stay rebuilding with this organization, and it's like I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Hopefully, if they do trade, they get us people who are gonna be Sacramento proud.
This episode of the Locked On Kings podcast is also brought to you by DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off of your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff that you'll actually want. Oh, I love that on DoorDash, it's not just food that you're ordering. You can get everything from snacks to drinks, headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered right to your door. DoorDash has you covered for your late night highlights, last minute watch parties, and double overtime fuel up. So next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to $10 a day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Before we wrap up, Devlin, you shared a little bit of your story earlier, leaving the Coast Guard, becoming an incredibly successful businessman, and with the work that you do, what you're wearing right now, the Kings hat that you're wearing, that's some of your work, right? And you were sharing with me before we started recording, you make stuff every single year, custom stuff that you like to give away to the fans around you or the fans in the building. Just, I mean, you've been so generous with your time. Tell us a little bit about SIA Collective. The work that you're doing. I mean, you talked about the stuff you do for Steph Curry. That's amazing. But how can people check out the work that you do and maybe want to be a part of it or cop some for Christmas or whatever?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So it's pronounced SIA Collective, and it stands for Somewhere in America. That's what the SIA is for. But yeah, I used to be a sneaker customizer. So I used to customize shoes back in the late 90s for rappers, for their music videos and stuff. And then in 2003, after 9/11 and everything, I got like this pride of wanting to serve my country. So I joined the United States Coast Guard. I got stationed in Alameda, California. I did 11 years in the Coast Guard. It was a great organization. I met a lot of great people, but I got to come and live in California, in this area of California, particularly Northern California, which I think is I'm never moving back to New York. I just love Northern California. I love the people. I love the diversity. After doing 11 years in the service, I went and graduated from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in San Francisco. I graduated with honors, and then I started my brand. And then from there, just like from my my community give back, which I used to do free sewing classes on Sundays in my boutique in Oakland. And I used to I told the parents, look, if you don't have the money, I don't want money to ever be a reason why your kid gets left out of something. So you don't got to bring money. You don't got to bring them lunch. I will feed them. I will buy them what I need for them to have in this class. And I used to teach them how to sew and make their own clothes. We used to teach them how to go thrifting. So like maybe you have something already in your closet and you want to, I want to spice it up. I would teach them that. Steph Curry found out about it. And he was like, oh, this is in Oakland. So he reached out. And Under Armour then reached out and was like, hey, we would love for your kids to design the Steph Curry 6 Christmas edition shoe. And we would love to have them come out and come to the Christmas game. So they were able to do that. They were able to have a private party with Steph. And from that, me and Steph's friendship blossomed from there. And when he won the championship that year, I said, I want to do something real special for Steph, for what he did for the kids. So I brought his rookie jersey and his rookie shorts. And then I took everything off the jersey and stitched it onto the shorts. And I did the same thing with his dad's jersey from the Hornets and then his college jersey. And I gave him all three as a gift for winning the championship. And then he let me know, he said, hey, I'm going to wear the shorts at the parade. Now, I'm not thinking anything is going to happen at all. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Thanks. I'm glad. I'll let the kids know. And he wore them and he tagged my page on Instagram. And because of that moment, it really, like, that viral moment right there had people wanting the shorts. So I was like, okay, I'll put the shorts up for pre-order. And it was only supposed to be 30 shorts, 30 home, 30 away. I put them up. I'm actually in Mexico for my birthday at the time. And my website, it keeps going off. It's like bing, 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 bing. And I'm sitting there counting my hand, like, wait a minute, that's more than 60. And it's like bing, 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 and it keeps going. I've never had that many sales before. So I didn't know that my website had a feature where it could still sell after it's sold out. So I'm running on the beach in Cabo, trying to get close enough to the hotel's Wi-Fi to go on the back end and take the shorts down. Man, by the time I got there, it had to be like 3 minutes. I made over $400,000 in sales.
Wow.
And I could not make that many shorts because I could only make 60. So I was like, man, I'm going to have to refund all these people their money because I can only make 60. So, as a true hustler, I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe Mitchell & Ness does have enough that I could fulfill all these orders. So now I'm driving to all the malls in the Bay Area to buy all the Warriors, Steph Curry stuff. I'm making orders online. I probably spent about $100,000. But I was able to hire a factory in San Francisco to help me make the shorts. And I was able to do that. But the money that I made off of that is how I was able to build my brand, my company up and not need a bank loan. So I made it all self-made. I have no loans or no debt. So I was able to do that. And then during the pandemic, everything really went viral. When I had Shaq, I make shoes for Shaquille O'Neal, size 22s. I got interviewed on NBA on TNT. I've been on The Breakfast Club. Red Bull did a show on me called What's Your Custom? And I also was on T-Pain's School of Business reality show. So just from that moment, though, it just triggered a whole lot. And Toyota, when I actually got out of the service, Toyota did a documentary on me on this military member that's leaving his career to chase his passion. And that also helped me get a lot of the other stuff like the Red Bull and the T-Pain, because the people who recorded that was like, this guy's story is amazing. We got to get him out there. And just from there, I just kept building by working hard and always giving back to my community. Like I can't be successful without trying to do the best in my community. And that's really why, like when you said like the stuff that I'll make Kings hats, like the jacket I was wearing. I got so many people asking me for that. I made that jacket. I have it actually in the same color. And I just give them away to like some of the courtside fans. And then I give the hats to all the kids that's in the stands when I see them, because I'm like, yo, Sacramento, let's have some cool stuff, like, and I like to give it to the fans because the fans deserve it. I mean, like, the fans are amazing. Like, if you have not been to a Sacramento Kings game, if you go, even if we're not your team, you will leave respecting the hell out of the fans here, because you feel like wherever you're from, you're like, dang, that's how my arena used to be. That's how my arena used to be. Like, no, we're still that way. And in California, especially how much it costs to come to these games, that the people are this loud and raucous, they still care. And that's all we want from the players. We want you to care like we care.
Man, why did you not big time me? Small podcast like this. Why'd you not big time me with all this? You going on T-Pain's reality show? What you doing on Locked On Kings, man? Well, I appreciate it. Hey, I gotta know though. Did you give Steph Curry a little bit of hell when you were during that playoff series when you were sitting courtside?
Yeah, it's my fault. We lost.
Oh no,
it's my fault because Steph is like my guy, right? And when we play against Steph, I never wear Kings merch, right? But now we're at game 7. I'm feeling it. I'm like, yeah, we got this one. I throw on the Kings jacket. I got one of my Kings jacket where the sleeves have all of the jerseys and the numbers that are in the rafters. And before the game, Steph looks at me. He always looks at me, points at me. He goes, right? And I felt like that game. He's like, oh, you wearing the Kings jersey. And remember, that's the game he had like 50-something points. Nobody
50,
on the Warriors did anything. Nobody on the Warriors did anything. We literally, I think, lost by a basket. But if it wasn't for Steph, we would have won in advance. The 3rd seed versus the 6th seed. And literally, it was Steph who got us up out of there. And then he said, y'all ain't like no beam tonight. I was like, oh, man. And I told my wife, I said, I never wore this jacket. Because players like that, that's all they need. They need that one thing to see. And he's like, oh, so my boy is rooting against me today. Okay, I'll show you.
Hey, I mean, look, we were miserable in the building that night, but we were also watching the greatness of Steph Curry on full display in that game, man. This guy you love to hate because how incredible he is. But Devlin, before I let you go, one, work on your handshake because you're probably going to be getting a lot of handshakes at the next Kings game with fans coming up to you saying, I appreciate you saying what needs to be said. Number 2 is how can fans if like support your work? Hopefully they're not
thank you.
buying stuff that is already sold out and making your phone go crazy in Mexico. But how can they support your work to get some of your Kings stuff?
Especially right now, it's great for the fans because we have a dope sale going on for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So our website is www.SIACollective.com, SIAcollective.com. The link is in my bio as well. We make some really cool stuff, really high quality. Everything you guys see me wear, I make it. I don't buy cheap stuff. I don't wear cheap stuff. I make good quality clothes that you can have forever at a very affordable price because I don't have a middleman. I own the manufacturing factory that makes my stuff. So,
all right, I'm gonna get in trouble here because I'm opening it up and I'm gonna spend. I've already spent too much money. I just got back from Disneyland, Devlin. Now you're gonna.
You just spent the bag.
You're gonna make me spend even more money, but I appreciate that, man. Your story is amazing. I appreciate you being willing to do this. I'm glad everything is good and hopefully this is just water under the bridge, heat of the moment type stuff. But I appreciate your perspective, and Kings fans do appreciate you saying what they've been feeling and being kind of a voice for them in that way. So we appreciate you, brother. And I hope to see you in person at the Golden One Center sometime very soon.
For sure. We'll have a beer or something.
I wish I could.
All right.
Huge thank you again to Devlin for making the time here. Go and support his work, or at the very least, check it out. He makes some incredible stuff, right? It's going to be hard for me not to spend too much money on his site, but I appreciate him sharing his perspective, sharing his story. I'm glad to hear that hopefully it's water under the bridge, that we'll see Devlin back in his seat behind the Kings bench going forward. Also, so you know, this episode today does not replace the post-game episode for Kings and Jazz in Utah tonight. I plan on having an episode after that game later on this evening, so come back and check that out when you can. But I hope you appreciated the show and enjoyed hearing from Devlin and what he had to say. I know I certainly did, and I can't wait to have you join me on the next episode of Locked On Kings. Until then, my name is Matt George. You've been listening to the Locked On Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.